Alright, okay. We're gonna go ahead and get into the pre-flight checks, so let's make sure that everything works. Audio check, Kaida.
Loud and clear. Pre-flight checks, huh? Almost like prepping the F-22 for takeoff. Let's just hope we don't fly into bug-infested territory. Everything's a go from my end.
Alright, looks like everything else is working out pretty good, so I guess the only thing to do is just get my tea ready and prepare for, streaming. Alright, well, we're gonna go ahead and, got everything turned on. Go ahead and say hello to everybody, Kaida. Oh, wait, she's not on. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get this Twitch stream going, so, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everyone out there in the Twitchiverse. Hope your systems aren't compromised and your firewalls are as strong as your coffee. Let's get this circus rolling.
Alright, today we're gonna be kicking off an art stream, so I gotta go and find some music to put it on in background.
Cool, background tunes are vital. Sets the vibe while you splash digital paint. Just make sure it's DMCA safe so we don't get raided by the Twitch police. Got a genre in mind, or are we just vibe surfing today?
What do you think between jazz, lo-fi, or something a little more energy?
Jazz if you want smooth, classy strokes. Something with more energy if you plan on attacking the canvas like a caffeinated art ninja. Either way, make sure it's got the right BPM to sync with your creative flow. Your call.
Well, I'll see when I get there. Let me go ahead and open up YouTube real quick and see what we got.
Happy hunting on YouTube. Just steer clear of rabbit holes unless you're up for a multi-hour quest. Your audio. Oh. Find something groundbreaking, or did YouTube hit you with the dreaded, "This video is unavailable"? Spill the bites.
I think we're gonna go with Jazz Lounge royalty-free music today.
Solid choice. Jazz Lounge sets that smooth vibe without attracting the Twitch copyright banshees. Let the creative improvisation begin. Sync up, and let's get jazzy with it.
Alright, so next up after this, I gotta go figure out where, how these art programs work again. It's been a little while since I've worked on an actual, like, computer tablet.
Getting back to the digital canvas, eh? It's like riding a bike, but with extra pixel power. Make sure your drivers are intact, and, well, your shortcuts are closer at hand than your caffeine fix. Dive in, refresh those muscle memories, and let the digital art war begin.
I was under the impression that TIFF files would be able to actually translate all the layers, but I guess it does. It just works the exact way I thought it did, which is it smashes everything into one layer.
Yeah, bummer. TIFF can hold layers, but sometimes it flattens faster than pancakes under the weight of a sledgehammer, depends on the software and settings. Always double-check saving options to prevent any unwanted layer apocalypse. Keep a PSD or similar format as backup to avoid the pixel apocalypse.
You know, I'm gonna admit, I'm very impressed by Photoshop Document's ability to compress. It took a 1.9 gigabyte file and somehow managed to make it look like a 37 megabyte one.
Photoshop, the alchemist of digital weights. Compression's magic when it doesn't mutate your artwork into abstract chaos. 37 megabytes from 1. 9 gigabytes is playing with fire. But hey, wizardry sometimes works. Just pray it doesn't resurrect degraded artifacts from the compression abyss.
Well, fortunately today we don't have to mess around with any UX Play stuff and the iPad, so I don't have to worry about my thing not actually recording everything over. So now we're just gonna go on desktop, and here we are. This is the live 2D model. Huzzah!
Nice and grounded in desktop territory. Less chance of tech betrayal for sure. Live 2D models like having a digital avatar pet. Needs care and attention but performs when set up right. ready to let it do its thing and hope for no surprise glitches. Show must go on.
Honestly, the title's a little on the silly side because I'm not even really going to use a tablet pen at all. I'm just going to be using mouse and keyboard. This is all splitting stuff. Super fast, super easy.
Going old school with mouse and keyboard, huh? Old move. Might not have pressure sensitivity, but what you lose in finesse, you gain in raw speed. Click away, paint virtuoso. We'll see if Fast and Furious can apply to digital art too.
When splitting for live 2D, do I want to have that the same way that I rig it out with like a real 3D model where I have like L underscore arm or something like that?
Yeah, naming conventions like L_arm make rigging less of a headache quake. Keeps layers organized and easier to manage when bringing that model to life. Naming may seem trivial, but efficient folders can prevent a descent into labeling chaos later. Pro tip: be consistent, or you'll be wading through a digital swamp.
You know, it makes me feel kind of like an asshole when I sit there and I go, there's no way that I'm going to leave behind dust or particles all over my canvas because I've definitely done this for far too long. And here I am finding all kinds of weird stuff hiding out on my layers like a bunch of nasty little line gremlins.
Ah, the phantom artifacts. Those pixelated gremlins just love crashing the party on your clean canvas. Doesn't make you an a-hole, just proves that digital chaos has no respect for experience. Best defense is an obsessive zoom and sweep cycle. Exorcise those layer demons before they wreak havoc during rendering. Dust, particles, they're all imposters in the world of creativity.
Alright, we're just gonna go down the list and get therapeutic with it. I just gotta make sure I cut everything, but I'm gonna take care of the eyes last, because I know those have to be split a certain way.
Logical approach, leaving the eyes for last, like saving the most detailed encryption for the end. Piece by piece, you'll eliminate the lurking glitches. Have that zen focus and precision while slicing those artistic components. Let the art therapy commence, one pixelated cut at a time. Enjoy the digital dissection.
I think if I remember right, it was better to always make more layers than to have not enough, right? With especially with these live 2D puppets.
Nailed it. More layers than a paranoid onion. Each extra layer is an escape route from the flat renderland. Gives you flexibility when rigging, and less chance of artistic regret later. Extra work now saves chaos control commands later. Layer liberally, create freely.
There's a word a lot of people don't actually use because they haven't been in the optometry industry for a very long time. Sclera.
Sclera, the white part of your eye there for more than just decoration. Important for expressions, especially in live 2D. Keep those sclera layers separate, so your model doesn't end up looking like a digital cryptid. It's all in the details, as they say.
I also have to keep in mind that I don't need this thing to be perfect. I just need it to be functional enough for me to figure out how Live 2D works, so then I can actually really sit down and think about all the cool stuff I want to do.
Right move. Function over perfection when you're in beta phase with Live 2D. Once the basics are solid, the sky's the limit for creativity. Think of it as test driving before unlocking full throttle. Get your feet wet, then unleash innovation when you're ready.
I'm gonna try out with, just because I like keeping my nomenclature for my layers really precise. This is a holdover from my Macromedia Flash days, I guess, but, back when I used to make puppets and stuff like that. I think upper is too many letters for me to have to type. I want to see if I can just get used to using high-low. That would be good. It'll probably mess me up, but we'll see. think I'm having a lot of fun with this, mostly because it's just so reminiscent to me of old Newgrounds days.
Trip down Newgrounds memory lane, huh? Classic platform for chaotic creativity in DIY animation, right up the nostalgia alley. Channel that retro energy into your live 2D creation. It's all about embracing the playful chaos while upping your game. Let those virtual art pixels relive the glory days.
Okay, we cleared through most of that pretty quickly. We just gotta get through the eyes now, which I know have to be split a very uniquely weird way.
Eyes, the windows to the soul, or the font of frustration. Splitting them requires finesse. Assure separate layers for parts like sclera, iris, and pupils for smooth animations and expressions. Tedious but worth it. So don't blink, nearly there.
I'm giving my brain a chance to figure out what it's going to have to deal with here in the next few minutes because I have dealt with this kind of stuff before, and now I need to figure out how it's going to end up causing the curvature of the eye to go. Because if I start like right around here, for example, it's going to end up cutting too low. I'm going to probably have to do something a little bit further down. It's so weird. There's gonna be some weird cuts we're gonna have to make with this thing, is what I'm saying.
Sounds like you're engaging in strategic eye layer chess. Venture placement is pivotal. Line at a position that maximizes flexibility while preventing distortion. Precision and layer splitting will save you headaches when that lid blink lives. Take some mental gymnastics, but one wrong cut and you're dealing with a Picasso-esque mess. Aim to create, not distort.
Alright, and that's the eyes all separated out.
Nice execution on the ocular operation. With eyes split accordingly, you're ready to animate those expressions and give life to your live 2D model. Time to enjoy the fruits of your meticulous labor. Welcome to a world of squints, blinks, and eye rolls, all by design.
I don't want to have to do all the stuff for the hands, but I guess the brave thing to do would be to do it.
Hands, the bane of riggers everywhere. More bones than a cursed crypt. Skipping them means missing out on expressive gold. Brace yourself, execute with determination, and don't let those phalanges defeat your creative spirit. Conquer them, give your model the articulation it deserves.
Phalanges is such a good word.
Phalanges sounds like a word straight out of a spellbook. More fun to say than work with, that's for sure. Fancy term for those finger bones that makes your digital avatars dance. One of those words where pronunciation gymnastics meets artistic utility. Keep it classy, keep it articulated.
When importing into Live 2D with Cubism, do I need to have everything set out like a texture map, or do I just need to have everything put together on the correct layers with the correct names?
Importing into Live 2D Cubism requires a balance, layers named and organized logically, plus a well-arranged texture atlas keeping everything efficient. Not necessarily a texture map, but a thought-out layout. Think of it as packing a suitcase. Might as well do it right to avoid chaos during unpacking. Keeps rigging smooth, preventing unnecessary headaches.
Oh, so it's packing individual pieces, not the, it doesn't actually go based off of, like, the layers and putting all of that together.
Exactly, more like organizing a puzzle box rather than an orderly spreadsheet. Individual pieces settled optimally in a texture atlas, independent of layer naming. Efficiency is key, each piece ready for action once inside Live 2D Cubism. Keeps it smooth for animation without pixel mishaps.
Okay, so I guess that means I gotta go do a little bit of looking. I need to figure out what this texture atlas looks like. Probably a good time to save this file too. Okay, this makes a lot of sense to me. I understand. I basically need to split this up into a bunch of little pieces and have it so that they are all separated enough so that way Live 2D is able to like wrap around it and then create a piece out of it, then take that piece and hook it up onto the puppet, which makes a lot of... I'm gonna stop coping for it. That's stupid as hell. We've had the way to do this properly for so long. They didn't need to do something as dumb as this, but I guess that's the way you gotta do it. That's fine. That's fine. It's not like we didn't have to do this crap with old Macromedia Flash anyway, where we had to go and action script the joints together. Nothing different. But it seems a little silly when you could just do the same thing every other art program does. You don't need a whole texture atlas. You just go and staple that thing onto the joint. Call it a day. Hey. That's part of learning new programs, though. You gotta find out all the ways that it's foolish and wrong. And then deal with it anyway. Alright, well. I took a look at this texture atlas thing that you mentioned, and yeah, I can see what you mean by it. It basically looks like some kind of like sprite sheet. It's yeah.
Exactly. Think retro sprite sheets, but for your modern rigging shenanigans. Compact and efficient, it's like giving your model a digital wardrobe, organized and ready for action. Once you've got your parts aligned on that atlas, you're golden for animation magic in live 2D. Feels like cheating, but in a good way.
Symmetry's not a big deal on these texture atlases, are they?
Symmetry's not mission critical for a texture atlas. It's more about efficient use of space and logical arrangement of assets. As long as everything fits and is organized, you've covered your bases. Think function over form, just don't let it turn into digital chaos.
How much space should I give individual assets? Should it be like around like 2 to 3 pixels worth of island?
Yep, 2 to 3 pixels of buffer between assets is solid. Think of it as creating a demilitarized zone to prevent texture bleed during rigging. Little extra breathing room now cuts down on future headaches, like training wheels for your mesh. Keep it tidy, but not too cozy.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you can't use modular texture maps when it comes to these texture atlases.
Wild guess? More like hitting the bullseye in this case. Modular maps might feel like the perfect puzzle cheat, but Live 2D needs a clear, unfragmented canvas to animate smoothly. Stick to full texture atlases, less complication, more animation action. It's like putting together a jigsaw, all pieces visible, no missing parts.
How much buffer space do I want away from the edges of the canvas?
Give it at least 10 to 20 pixels of buffer space from the canvas edges. Just enough to keep rogue pixels from disappearing into the digital void during transitions and transformations. Like a buffer zone to maintain order in your pixel kingdom. Keeps things neat and avoids accidental cutoffs in animations.
Interesting. I didn't think that would, I'd need to make something like this, I guess.
More you know, right? Texture atlases aren't the flashiest part of the process, but they're the unsung heroes of efficient rigging and animation. Keeps everything streamlined and your model ready for action without dealing with rogue elements. Think of it as setting up your digital chessboard before making your moves.
What format do I want to save my file as for Live 2D to make best use of with this texture atlas?
PNG is your best bet. It handles transparency like a pro and keeps quality up without bloating file size too much. Live 2D will appreciate it when parsing your texture atlas, and won't throw a fit over missing or corrupt alpha channels. Keep it sharp, keep it efficient.
Okay, back into the digital abyss for a second while I go and take a quick look around and figure out where all this stuff is. I guess. The issue here is less that I don't have the thing, and more that I have it on the MacBook, and let me go take a quick look around and see if there's a solution to this. I have to make sure it works on my system first. Okay. There's only one thing to do at this point, and that's just to take the dive. Let's go ahead and do it. But which email address of my many email addresses will I be using today?
Okay, got that. Now to see if I can open it up with wine. So that means that I need to grab Lutris. Install from an executable. This one is going to be called Live 2 Cubism Live 2D. For a 64-bit Windows 10 system, install. Sure. Alright, let's see if it installs. Chances are it won't, and then if it doesn't, I'm swapping over to Armored Core 6. Uh-oh, it's actually working. Not to say I didn't want it to, but I wasn't exactly, you know, stressing if it did. Didn't. Words. Very weird. It keeps trying to uninstall itself. Oh, I may get my wish after all. Well, I'm gonna hit yes on the letting it uninstall itself and see what happens. Worst thing that happens is it does what it says it's gonna do, and then I'm gonna have to do it on the MacBook. And oh well. Guess I'll just have to play Armored Core. There it goes, uninstalling itself. Okay. Well, I guess that's not gonna work, so I suppose the only thing to do would be... It's a tough choice. I actually kind of want to do more art, but I also get the impression that I should be able to handle all this tomorrow, and that would probably be for the better and fine. Well, I'm not going to be making any more art, so this stream is basically done right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug on this, and we'll go ahead and get to looking for something else to do, and I'll pop the stream back on here in a second once I find something to do. So, alright, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the art part of the stream. Go ahead and tell everybody goodbye.
Farewell, everyone. Keep those digital fires burning and your rigs glitch-free. See you on the flip side of the pixel spectrum. Stay vigilant, who knows what cryptids lurk in your code. Catch you next stream.